Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of 15 Cards, where I'm continuing for the moment to go through my nostalgia binder, as I like to refer to it, and we're on to Prophecy. So we have here the original wrapper for the pack that it was pulled from, or the pack that these cards were pulled from. And let's go through this. So, as far as I remember, this is the actual order they came out in. So there's the three uncommons first, then the rare, and then the rest are all commons. And at this point, there were no basic lands in boosters for this. Well, for this set, I can't remember exactly when that kicked in again. But yeah, at this moment in Magic, at this moment in time in Magic, no basic lands in this particular set, in the boosters. So, Quicksilver Wall, 2 and a blue, 1/6, creature wall, just reminding us that walls can't attack. 4, return Quicksilver Wall to its owner's hand. Any player may play this ability. Noxious Field, 1 and 2 black, enchant land. Enchanted land has tapped. This land deals 1 damage to each player and each creature and each player. So a pinging land. We've got Wingstorm, 2 and a green sorcery. Wingstorm deals X damage to each player, where X is twice the number of creatures with flying that player controls. And here's our rare, which is a rather nice foil version of Well of Discovery. Now you can see back then, obviously the foiling was slightly different, and for this particular one, it's really only the border plus this special sort of watermark here that's actually foiled. Doesn't look like there's any marked, an attempt to like foil the actual image itself. It's purely the bordering. So Well of Discovery, 6 to cast. It's an artifact. At the end of your turn, if you control no untapped lands, draw a card. So now moving on to the commons, and this is a good point to just see if we can spot cards that are a very similar type, so we can sort of see what particular aspect of the set was really trying to make itself known when you even just see certain types of card repeating in a single pack in commons. I'll also include links in the description, so you can check out previous stuff I've done on Prophecy. I imagine, there'll definitely be a set musings for this. So in that I talk a little bit more about the themes of the set. So our first common here is Magenta's Boon. So 1 and a white, enchant creature. You may play Magenta's Boon anytime you could play an instant. Enchanted creature gets +1/+2. And this was, I think these were referred to as enchantments. I think that was the word that's subsequently been used to describe them. I don't know if that was the term that was used at the time. We've got Flay, which is 2 and a black, sorcery. Target player discards a card at random from his or her hand. Then that player discards another card at random from his or her hand, unless he or she pays 1. Spiketail Hatchling, 1 and a blue, 1/1. Creature Drake, it's got flying, you can sack it, and that'll counter a target spell unless its controller pays 1. Excise, X and a white. Instant, remove target attacking creature from the game unless its controller pays X. Latula's Orders, 1 and a red, enchant creature. You may pay Latula's Orders anytime you could play an instant. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a defending player, you may have it destroy target artifact that player controls. And again, you'll notice this is another one of these enchantments. Coastal Hornclaw, 4 and a blue 3/3 creature bird. Sacrifice a land. Coastal Hornclaw gains flying until end of turn. We have a Pygmy Razorback, 1 and a green 2/1. French vanilla, has tramp on it as a keyword. Keldon Berserker, 3 and a red 2/3 creature soldier. Whenever Keldon Berserker attacks, if you control no untapped lands, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Bog Glider, 2 and a black 1/1 creature mercenary with flying. Tap, sacrifice a land, search the library for a mercenary card with converted mana cost 2 or less and put that card into play. Then shuffle your library. I think that was called something like recruiting, wasn't it? When it specifically referred to tutoring for a card of a certain type. And there were a set of mercenaries in the set that did that. Around the same time, and I can't remember off the top of my head if it was in this set, but wasn't there some rebels or something like that did a similar thing, I think. So Trenching Steed, 3 and a white 2/3 creature rebel. Sacrifice a land, Trenching Steed gets +0/+3 until end of turn. Surprise, surprise. So Joral's Favour, 1 and a green. Enchant creature. You may play Joral's Favour any time you could play an instant. Or 1 and a green, regenerate enchanted creature. So another enchantment. And that's it. So as always, let's zoom in and actually take a close look at the artwork. Oops. Oh, nearly. One day I'm going to get this first time. But it's quite... Oh. That's good. Okay. So with this, it's another one of these confusing pieces of artwork. Of course, with this, you know, the wall is this here. Yeah, not the creature. It's the creature stuck in the wall. Looks like there's some sort of almost like if I didn't know, well, I don't know any better, but that just makes me think of a park bench for some reason. Yeah. There he was, Og sitting minding his own business on a park bench, and up pops a quicksilver wall. Oh, that's very noxious. Noxious field. So what have we got? Not something I'd probably want to be drinking out of in any hurry. Can't see what these are here. Obviously they're probably not long for this world. You can see, yeah, something else. Another creature had a unhappy demise. Wow, there's loads going on here. Wingstorm. Have we got both a bat and a bird? Oh, okay, yeah. So this is what? Miniature dragon. Okay, so they're all conspiring together against this protagonist. Right, okay. Is that a butterfly there? Wow. Not quite sure what this is up here. Never mind. Yeah. And now the foil one. Oh wow, that's popping really nice in terms of the border. And I suppose it has the effect of also making the artwork pop, even though, like I said, there's no discernible foiling on this artwork. Very interesting symmetry here. think this one's pretty straightforward. You know I like my cloud formations, so a nice bit of sky here. The rest of it looks fairly straightforward. Can't quite tell there whether a person's giving them the sword or taking it away. Oh, Craig, I didn't realise that's pretty scary. Yeah. Spike-tail hatchling. There's several. I can't even think of one. That's the trouble off the top of my head. But I think you probably know what I mean when you get these. And I think of blue cards a lot here, where the whole artwork is almost shades of blue. I mean, there's a few other colours here, but you sort of get this consistent blueness. And there's obviously other colours, other cards that do that. But whenever I see a card like this, I get these sort of abstract thoughts of other cards whose names I can't remember, but have very similar, shades of blue and the way they're sort of structured. There's multiple individuals getting sucked up there, so interesting exile card. Obviously got to be pretty strategic with that in terms of making sure that your controller isn't able to pay whatever cost you've decided. Or your X part anyway. It's interesting the depth on this card here. I'm trying to tell whether it... Sometimes with these you get better depth perception on the camera than you do when I look at the card in front of me. And I definitely think on here it has more depth through the camera. And therefore different... it's like your eye gets drawn to different places as a consequence. Like when I look at it on... when I look at it through my camera lens, whatever you want to call it, this pops much more here, and when you look at it on the card, I'm assuming this is like is this some sort of they're coming out of a tunnel, are they? I'm not sure, but here when I look at it on through the camera's screen, it looks like a sort of sunrise. Maybe it is a sunrise. It's difficult to really see because we've got lines here, sort of structures here that you wouldn't necessarily see if you were sort of coming out of a circular tunnel. Coastal Hornclaw. Yeah, this is always a bit of a weird one. I'm trying to think if that's been reprinted. Oh, Pygmy Razorback. Again, there's nice depth to this when you get it like nice and up close on the camera. There's a nice touch with everything. You could probably pinpoint like a point of origin on this as well, just because of the perspective. There's a number of creature cards, I think, where there's this sort of almost like style of character around this time. I'm trying to remember how many different Keldon cards there are as well. I think there's quite a number of those. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but this, as soon as I see this, just makes me think of the Green Goblin. Yeah. From Spider-Man. Most probably just this flying contraption. Trenching steed. Now, was that the case that there were? I hadn't been keeping a tab on how many rebels were in this pack. I think there was just one mercenary, and I think only one rebel. Which, this is the one. We'll see in a moment if I was right about that. Oh yeah, because the other one was the last one was this enchantment. Some pretty, I'm just trying to think generally whether those had some pretty interesting artwork on them. I'm just looking at this as well and looking at the ones I've already pulled. Well, we've got it on camera just to see if I can, maybe pick out what might be my favourites in here. Also having a second look at the Noxious Field. Probably interesting enough, I think. Noxious Field's probably one of my favourites in here, and the one I mentioned that reminds me of the Green Goblin, Bog Glider. But with this last card, Jor-El's Favour, again we got a little bit of symmetry here, I suppose. Seems to be quite a number of like little small representations of creatures on some of these cards as well. Yeah. But there's, in some instances on this there's quite marked difference in the artwork. I think as we went on in Magic, sort of into this period, particularly I think I noticed this before in the core sets, the artwork seemed to get a little bit more consolidated as well. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, bye for now, and I'll catch you in a future video.